What's going on, everybody? John Eric Poli here, being joined by Jeffery, who just defeated Fabio Aguilar by a second round TKO at Bellator 282. Aaron, congrats on the win, man. That's great seeing you again here. I know we spoke before the fight here, so it's great to do a post fight interview as well.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, man, no problem at all. So, before we get into the fight itself, when we just spoke before the fight, we talked a lot about how it was, a long time coming for you to finally get into one of these bigger promotions, and that you kind of never really had a set home in your fighting career. You're always bouncing around to other promotions. Now you're finally set in a big promotion. You found yourself a home here. Just what was your first full fight week like in Bellator, from doing all the media stuff, going through the weigh-ins, obviously competing, just taking in everything that big promotion has to offer?
Yeah, it's nice, man. It's really nice. They treat you well. Everything is very professional. Like you have a schedule that you follow. There's a person for each job. Like everyone knows what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah, they just treat you well, and it's a well-oiled machine. So it's good to be there.
All right, yeah. So obviously, a lot of fighters have, said a lot of great things about Bellator over the years, and it seems like that stands true with you as well. We'll start getting into this fight now here a little bit. So before we get into the knockout there in the second round, I do want to start with just kind of how the opening round kind of played itself out. And initially, it seemed like you guys were getting right after the whole entire clinch work. There was a lot of clinching right in the beginning of the fight there. Was that how you were expecting it, that you guys were going to kind of come out and try to, win a position there in a clinch like that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you watch my past few fights, or like most of my career, really, and you watch his couple Bellator fights, that's how we both fight. We both walk forward, we clinch up, we kind of beat guys up on the cage. So yeah, that was exactly what I expected. I said it in a few interviews before. I said I think he fights pretty similar to me. I just think I can do it a little bit better. And yeah, I was able to win those clinch positions and kind of set up the sequence for the finish from the clinch.
So sticking still with the first round here before getting in that knockout in the second there. There was a moment in the first round where you were able to secure a takedown, and you went right in and you had a choke locked in, and it seemed like it was pretty tight on the broadcast there. How tight was it? Did you think that you were close to getting a submission in that spot? And obviously, I know at some point you had to let go. I'm sure the burn had to feel pretty real there from squeezing for so long.
For sure, man. Yeah, it was pretty much as tight as it gets. Like I had it like right around his neck. He didn't have any grips in. His chin wasn't in. It was like perfectly on the neck. I had a tight squeeze. He was tough, man. He's a BJJ black belt. He's probably been doing that shit his whole life. He's been choked a million times. So he wasn't gonna tap. I was gonna have to put him to sleep or move on to something else. And for whatever reason, I couldn't get it like tight enough to put him to sleep. So yeah, I had to move on and not totally gas out my arms.
I was gonna say, when you went in to your corner right after that first round, getting ready for the second round, how were your arms feeling when you had that choke kind of locked in like that? Because they actually said out in the broadcast, a lot of fans might think, hey, he's in trouble that he's being choked. Well, the guy doing the choking a lot of times could be just as tired from such a tight squeeze like that.
Yeah, they're pretty burnt, man. They feel okay today, but like even this week, like they were sore. Like that was a squeeze. My forearms were all ballooned up in between rounds. So yeah, that's a real thing. Holding onto a choke too tight can definitely mess up your arms for the next round.
All right, so now let's get into this big finish here that I'm sure everybody has seen on your social media or seen. Is quite the incredible knockout there. It was pretty vicious with those elbows and everything. So obviously you guys come out in the second round, kind of similar how the first round started. We had a lot of clinch work there. Then you start incorporating the dirty boxing in there. Talk about that and what kind of led to that opening then, once you were able to start landing a couple of those short punches, and then that led to that big elbow then that came in, that led to the knees and everything else that finished it.
Mm. Yeah, I felt him. I think the choke did tire him out a little bit too, because I felt him when he came out in the next round and clenched me up. It didn't have like the same strength as he did in the first. It's kind of hard to get off like elbows and knees and punches and shit inside the clinch when guys are fresh, but he started tiring a little bit, and it kind of creates those opportunities. I've landed that overhand elbow a few times in some other fights, and I felt it was there, and I threw it, and it connected like really clean and rocked him, and then few more punches and some big knees, and he went down.
And yeah, then the rest is history there, and you got that big first W inside the promotion. What did that mean for you too? I know we talked about what it was like just to have a new promotion and everything that went into it, and how you said how professional they were. But for you personally, what did it mean to get a big victory the way how you did inside of this big promotion for the first time?
It's pretty sweet, man. Like getting a finish this way, I mean, it could be like your first amateur fight. You get like a cool knockout like that. It feels like you're on top of the world no matter where it is. So yeah, it's awesome. It feels like it was my first day on the job and I made a good impression and I think I did. So yeah, hopefully this means good things to come.
And then, of course, the question that everybody asks, and sometimes fighters don't necessarily like. If I'm gonna go ahead and ask it anyway, what's next? Obviously, we know that you're still a little. You said your arms were tight afterwards. You had a lot of driving that you had to do. There's a lot of traveling that you did after the fight there. Just what's next? I'm sure you're kind of the next thing kind of planned out already.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said to you earlier, we'll start looking at fights here in like the next 2 weeks and see some dates and locations and names and kind of figure it out.
And then, how about as far as training goes? I know we talked in the last interview. You talked about how you started kind of going down to South Florida. You want to make it more of a routine down at Sanford MMA. Do you plan on going back down there sometime soon?
For sure, for sure. It's like I said to you before, sick gym, a lot of good guys. I made some good friends down there, so I want to get back and train and just see some of my friends. Maybe I'll make it back out to Vegas at some point too, and see some of my my training partners and friends there as well.
Now with Vegas, where do you train out? Is it Syndicate? Is it where do you go out when you go to Vegas?
Yeah, yeah. I've been to Syndicate a couple times. Last year I was there for like 6 months, so I'd like to go down again for sure.
And I don't think we talked about that the last time. We mostly did Sanford. What's that experience been like of going to Syndicate? Because they have a lot of high level guys there as well.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Another like super high level gym. It's cool because it's in Vegas, right? Like fight capital of the world. So you get a lot of guys like come in and out. Like guys will come in on fight week. Like you see a lot of big names. You're right by the PI, so you can go there and work out and stuff with all the UFC guys. So it's pretty sick.
And then finally, before we wrap things up here, I have to ask. Obviously, you're from Niagara Falls area. There, you train at Niagara Top Team. After getting this big win like that, what was the reception like when you finally made it back home to Canada?
It was good, man. It was nice. I actually got back in the gym Monday. There's a couple guys that are fighting next weekend on a local show in Burlington, close to here. So I got back in to help those guys out, and it's always fun getting back in the gym like right after you fight, and everyone's giving you the big congrats and whatever. So it was nice.
Awesome, man. Well, congrats on the win. Last thing here, just to close this out, go ahead, plug your social medias. People know where to follow you at. You have any sponsors you got to plug, management? You get the last word. Floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, everywhere on social media at AAJ MMA.